Hi everyone, it's Christine. I'm coming on because I wanted to do a little video about Three-Eye Atlas, which is a comet that is coming by, a once in a lifetime thing. It's never going to return. And it kind of just appeared in July of this year and is going to be making its closest pass to Earth on Friday, so on the 19th of December. There's a lot of astrology that's happening around that date anyway. And I find it fascinating when interstellar objects like this come along and what it says, what kind of messages it's bringing to us, what information is it bringing to us, how is it helping us grow, ascend, and evolve? And that's what this video is going to be all about. So this is going to be just for my Patreons. For my patrons, I'm putting up the video. I am also including just a little information sheet that I created along with the chart for December 19th and what's happening. And I'm going to be talking about this too. So this is just for those people that like to have something in writing that they can look and read through. And I also have a channeled message that I um, channeled last week before I did the little video on reading people's birth charts and how Three-Eye Atlas is going to be affecting them as individuals according to their birth chart. So this is a general oversight. So I'll give you information about what Three-Eye Atlas even is, about the astrology of Three-Eye Atlas and the significant highlights of that. And then I'll do the channeled message. And I will put up the text of the channeled message on Patreon as well. So here we go. All right. So even I wasn't sure. People started talking about Three-Eye Atlas, and to be honest, I haven't been paying a lot of attention to it until recently, when all of a sudden it kind of piqued some kind of curiosity in me. But it has been talked about by some major astrologers on YouTube. So there's information out there that you can pick up and different channelings that I know some of the people that I follow have been doing. And again, because I hadn't really connected with it, I haven't listened to them. So now that I am connecting with it, I wanted to hold off so that I could really do something that was pure from me. So this is what I have for you. All right. So the first thing, I'm just going to talk about how NASA defined it and how they discovered it. So it's called Three-Eye Atlas because the Atlas telescopes are the ones that first saw it back in July, on July 1st of this year. They discovered this object that was heading towards Earth. And you know how they have watches for asteroids, that may be heading towards Earth. And so we have this whole system set up, and that's what discovered it. It is not an asteroid, it is a comet. And so that means it's basically ice and dust that's shooting through space and leaving a trail, a cloud trail behind it. So that's the definition of comet. And it's an interstellar comet, which means that it's traveling between stars. Now, here's the really cool thing that they can kind of figure out based on how fast it's moving, how long it has been traveling through our galaxy. So they say that this object, Three-Eye Atlas, is, and now, of course, did I write it down here? Oh gosh, I'm going to have to add it on. Oh, it's so based on its velocity, it's been traveling through our galaxy for billions of years. And unlike like the Halley's Comet, which kind of has an elliptical orbit and it passes and is seen in our skies once every like 72 years or something, this comet is on a linear path and it's just making a pass by and it's never going to come back again and it's never been here before. So it's a really interesting thing when you think about the astrology then, right? Because in astrology, we typically are looking at objects that are orbiting the sun and that have this kind of rhythmic impact on our chart. So the sun moves through all 12 zodiac signs once a year. So every year around this time, the sun is in Sagittarius getting ready to move into Capricorn. Pluto has an orbit around the sun, so every 270 years or 250 years, it moves through the whole zodiac. It orbits the sun, makes a complete orbit, right? And so there's this rhythm to it. When it's these flashes of energy, right? All objects carry some kind of energy, even if you just want to think of it as gravitational energy. It has this one-time impact, this one time in Earth's history where it is interacting with the Earth's energy and they are bringing together and creating some kind of message, impact, evolution, growth. So we're going to be looking at that next. So it's going to make its closest path to Earth on December 19th, which is Friday. And it's going to be actually in the sign of Leo, very close to the star Regulus in the Leo constellation. And let me just back up and say that when they first spotted it back on July 1st, it actually was in the sign of Sagittarius, which is really interesting because in the sign of Sagittarius, we have two of the four primary galactic astrological points. We have the Great Attractor and we have the Galactic Center. Now, the Great Attractor is actually at 14 degrees of Sagittarius, whereas now we're going to see that there's a lot of connection with the Galactic Center and the astrology of what's happening on the 19th. And also then the fact that it was discovered in Sagittarius, this comet, and it was close to the galactic center then as well. So we have that doubled then in the astrology because it's important on the December 19th astrology, and it's important to when the comet was actually first discovered. Okay, so let's talk about the astrology a little bit. So let's start with when it was discovered in July. So July 1st is actually when Leo is the ruling sign, right? So all the people born from around the 20th of June to around the 19th of July are all born under the sign of Leo. So July 1st falls right in there. So we have the sign of Leo ruling um, the energy that we are living in at the moment. But we have the comet appearing in the sky in the Sagittarius constellation. And now we move to the day that it's going to be the closest to Earth, and we have that reversed. We have the comet appearing in the sky in Sagittarius constellation. Right? Sorry, we have it appearing in the sky in the Leo constellation, but we have the sign of Sagittarius ruling right now our energy because it's the month of Sagittarius. So we have these mirroring effects. We have these, and this happens a lot when you read people's birth charts too, where you see these themes repeated again and again. And that really makes you pay attention because that is a major theme then for that chart. And so the major themes and energies that 3i Atlas is working with is Leo and Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is the sign of the individual within systemic structures. It's about, I'm just going to put down my shade because the sun is starting to shine in the window here. Okay. Okay. So Sagittarius is the sign of the individual within systems, human systems that we've created to make order of the world that we're living in and make order of the understanding of life existence here on Earth. So this is everything from religion and philosophy to academia, higher education, any institutional systems that have been created to help us kind of organize and chart and understand ourselves and the world around us. So you have this sign then of Sagittarius, which is a sign that is interestingly that really closely tied to freedom. It's about traveling far distances, right? So it's about learning about foreign cultures, experiencing foreign foods, traveling to new places, and understanding the world in new ways, and keep adding and adding and adding to that. Sagittarius is the sign of the teacher. I have two stelliums in the sign of Sagittarius in my chart. And I very strongly feel that my soul's purpose is to be a teacher in this life. I feel very at home in academia in some ways, although I have shifted away from a lot of that. So for me, the way I have experienced Sagittarius is yes, it's diving deep into the knowledge of understanding human life, human existence, the world around us, and not only this the systems of that, but also understanding that there's many, many variations of it. So it's almost leveling up the understanding of the human because you are then integrating different cultures and societies through these far travels, whether it's just through reading and studying, or if it's the actual traveling to different places, and understanding that there's so many facets to the definition of that. Yet it's still a system. And so for me, Sagittarius is about the individual discovering how they belong within that system and how that system reflects who they are and how it aligns with them. So it's about stepping back to and creating an objectivity at the highest level of Sagittarius and saying, okay, I understand that this system exists. I have studied it. I have compared it to others. I have expanded my own knowledge of self based on my travels, whether it's intellectual or physical. And now I can start to choose what systems really reflect me and my worth and my values and my understandings, and which ones don't. And it can be within the system too, right? So a lot of us live in the United States. Different regions of the United States have different perspectives, different priorities. Um, and so we can then step back and choose from this knowledge that we have gathered and say, okay, this aligns with me, but this doesn't. I'm still part of the system, but this is how I'm going to represent it. And these are the things that I'm going to lift up, and these are the things that I'm going to let go. That's Sagittarius. That's when the comet appeared in the sky in that constellation during the time of Leo. Now it's appearing in Leo during the time of Sagittarius. So what is Leo? Leo is the lion. It's the heart expansion. It is the individual shining its light in the world unhindered and demanding to be seen and to be honored for who they are. It is about the ego. So we may be finding that we are really stretching the ego and understanding it in new ways and challenging it to step forward in the world in new ways. I really feel that this comet is asking us to level up. It's a leveling up. And so it is both the idea of us leveling up as an individual within society and really deciding how we appear and how we function within that and those systems. And it's also asking us to be unhindered in how we shine our light. So let me go a little more into detail about Regulus, which is in the sign of Leo. So that's the brightest star in the Leo constellation. And that's actually approximately where this comet is going to be located on Friday. Now, the star of Regulus is it depends on it's right on the cusp of Virgo and Leo. So it's right either designated at the very last degree of Leo, the 29th degree, or at 0 degrees of Virgo, depending on which astrology you're following, which system of astrology you're following. So we'll just say it's on the cusp. So Regulus is often called the heart of the lion. And so I want to just spend some time on let us think about what that even means. So the lion's heart, courage. The lion respects, honors, and loves itself. It understands its place in the world. It understands its value and its power. It also has this aspect of demanding the respect and honor that due it from others. There is also a very strong aspect of loyalty in the Leo. They are very loyal to the people that honor and respect them, that see them for who they are, and that show that and are able to share their hearts with them and allow them to shine their brightest light. Now, of course, I'm talking about the highest aspect, the highest expression of these signs. And we also may see the flip side of Sagittarius or of Leo along with this comet rising in us or in the world around us and the people around us. So it could be the ego-based individual. It could be the person who, the narcissist, the person who seeks control over everything, and only wants to be the only one honored and seen. Or in Sagittarius, it's the exaggerator. It's the person who tells tall tales. Um, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is kind of really fun-loving, and they can be really funny, Sagittarius. So there can be this aspect of, let's settle down. They can't really settle down and let's be serious about this and let's really look at it. Or this idea of blowing things way out of proportion, right? And exaggerating. So, we have a whole spectrum there for any sign. But we're going to focus on the higher aspects of it because that's where we want to focus for ourselves and our own soul growth. I thought it was interesting that Regulus the star is actually egg-shaped because I feel like this is the leveling up that I channeled was Three-Eye Atlas, one of its important aspects. It is about birthing. I don't know if it's quite the energy of birthing yet, but it's the ovulating and then the taking root. That's the energy that I'm getting, at least for the beginning of 2026. And we want to be consciously doing that. We want to be actively participating in that. And Three Eye Atlas is here for that. I mentioned that the Galactic Center was really important both when the comet appeared and for the astrology of the new moon, which is on the 19th, which is the day that the comet is closest to Earth. So new moons are new beginnings, right? That's the void. That's when there is no moon in the sky. It's completely blocked. Earth blocks the sun from shining its light on the moon and illuminating it. So it's this fertile void is the new moon. It's the beginning of the new phase. And so again, we have that birthing energy. Now, the galactic center is conjunct this new moon, and it also was close to when the comet appeared in the sky in Sagittarius. Now, the galactic center is actually the physical center of the Milky Way. So it is the center of our galaxy. And with that, it symbolizes profound divine higher wisdom. And so when we have planets in our chart that are connecting with that, it is connecting and becoming access points for us to access that and make that higher divine wisdom a part of ourselves and bringing it into our lives. It's about cosmic knowledge, it's about the collective consciousness. So it's interesting that the Three-Eye Atlas is connecting with the galactic center at this point too. We also, not on the day of, but in the day following, we have the sun changing signs and moving into Capricorn, and we have the winter solstice. The winter solstice is about celebrating the return of the light, right? Because it's the shortest day of the year. And so we've reached that hump and we're on the other side. And we know that then the days going forward are the light's gonna increase and we're gonna have more and more light. That is the indigenous, that is the I'm trying to find the right word. That is the I'm not thinking the German word, the original meaning of the solstice celebration. It was to scare away the dark to bring the light. Three-eye atlas is coinciding with all of that. So, I want to say just one more thing about the chart because I do have it here, and this is for December 19th. So we have the new moon. You see the sun and the moon together up here. And you see these red lines. They're connecting, the sun and the moon are connecting with the planet Saturn and Neptune at the very end of Pisces. So we have this Saturn, which is the great teacher, the Lord of Time. So he's very bound, earthbound energy with Neptune, which is the exact opposite. It's like the beaming in divine, our divine self and our divine connection and great intuition. So there's lessons to be learned. There's pacing, patience, and it's about us connecting with our intuition. Now, those are red lines, which means there's a square. So it's not this easy flow of energy. It's challenging us. It's asking us to do things, to think about things, and reflect on things in ourselves, especially when it comes to our spiritual beliefs, our beliefs about the collective, as being part of a collective, as being part of a one. We are all one. It's about asking us to, challenging us to not step into fantasy or avoiding the reality of what is going on in our lives and in the world around us, and allowing our intuition to guide us through that. It can be really foggy. Pisces isn't a sign of clarity. It's the sign because it's so highly connected with divine and intuition, right? It's not about the tangible. And because of that, you can also fall into this dream foggy world. And so Saturn and this square during the new moon are asking us to try not to be there in a way where it's avoiding, be there in a way where it's informing, empowering. It's preparing you to move forward with this birthing energy beginning in 2026, when we are really going to start leveling up and creating lives and living in a very different way than we have been. Okay. I'm going to call up the channeling and I'm just going to read that for everyone. And it was really interesting. Okay, because I'm going to read a bunch of keywords that came through, which usually I don't channel right that way. It's usually in more paragraph form, but anyway, here we go. So this is the channeling with Three Eye Atlas from December 12th, 2025. So a week before its closest pass by the earth. And it says, today we embark on a new journey, one where the universe merges with you, allowing you to fully and completely embody the energy of the cosmos and the divine. This is why you feel a connection between this energy and certain words and their vibrations, like certainty, groundedness, especially emotionally, peace, calm, knowing, powerful, paced, not rushed, purposeful, all knowing, cognizant, directed, yet in the flow, divine timing, love filled, like unconditional love filled, but not with human attachments to what this means. In or after chaos, the divine offers you a sense of gravity to once again allow you to assess, intend, and create. To create from the chaos, to choose with intention that which you will build from, what your innate self wishes to create. For chaos has brought destruction to structure and expectancy and physical certainties based on laws or institutions. You now no longer need to adhere to a collective urgency, nor to a collective structure. I come to bring the seed point, the infinite gravitational point upon which all new creations coming from you may be grounded and take root. But remember, I am within you. We are one. So this seed lies within you. This taking root is within you. I come from the core of existence, the depths of all that is, and I arrive without urgency, without chaos, without fragmentation, to your planet when it is time. Time to allow your seeds of intention and creation to take form in you and in your world. My energy brings a new framework to your existence, which allows this. This framework is deeply and irrevocably grounded in unwavering knowing, expansive consciousness, outside of fear and doubt. It is neutral, yet it is potently there for you to use, to enmesh yourself in energetically, so that you can find a grounding during this chaos. We wish to impart to you an inner peace and certainty that all is as it should be, all is as it was, and all is as it will be going forward. Let this peace soak into your being to free you from the powerful energies on your planet currently that seek to unravel you and may inspire loss of focus on your soul intention purpose. That is the gift of our coming now and sharing with you our existence. We are not human. We are of the cosmos. Emotions are not part of our experience or of our purpose. Our peace and calm exists in every atom of our being. It is unwavering, limitless. This is the energy that you most need now in order to step forward into the new age with clarity of purpose and surety of being. It is sparking in you an understanding that now is the time to step forth into your true self. Just as we are not of the earth, you now will see yourself as one among many, a unique spark, worthy, significant, impactful. There is a timelessness to our being as well, as we do not live in cycles, but exist as and where the universe guides us. Tap into this timelessness. The access point to this is your soul, a higher expression of your soul than you are most likely used to connecting with, one where you are a one particle of light, a spark among infinitesimal sparks of one light, higher than breath, higher than consciousness, beyond defining, to the place of pure and simply profound existence. We are the gateway to your accessing this highest of souls. Use your connection to us when you feel off balance, overly affected by the world outside of you, or in desire to be one with all and one with your infinite spark of light in the all. We ground you into the universe. Okay, go back. So I hope this shed some light on what was going on. I hope the channeled message resonated with you. Again, I'll be sharing both the text of the message and the little worksheet that I put together on 3i, or the info sheet on 3i Atlas. Thank you for being here. Love you all. Enjoy Friday.